Hello friends, how are we doing today? Welcome to a 30-minute yoga practice with me, Minda. I'm here to be your workout buddy. Yes! Are you here to work out with me? And it's not just a workout. I'm hoping that you're going to use your yoga practice to really help develop this mind-body connection. And we do that by being intentional with our movement, by being deliberate, and by focusing on how does this move make me feel? What does this move make me feel? Is this move under my control? Now, if we need to take breaks, if we need to take modifications, I'll be talking about the intent of the pose as we go. We do. And no matter what, if what I'm doing is not honoring your body, move it in a way that it does, okay? Let's have fun together. Now, I'm drawing inspiration from this music because it makes me feel a little bit 80s. And the 80s were a dramatic period. So you know what? I'm going to warm up with a movement called a mermaid. Friends, we're going to bend our legs 90-90. I want you to take a deep breath. I know I'm channeling the drama of this 80s-like music. And I'm going to try to stay long. Every pose in yoga is a chance for length and strength. And so that's even here through my arm, out through my shoulder, out through my chest. And I'm going to breathe and reach. Yes, actually, if you do Pilates, you will recognize this move. Pilates was influenced by yoga. So these two forms of practices were actually quite connected. I think of them as wonderful cousins. Take a breath, exhale, lengthen down side body. The benefit of this, we're stretching and getting lateral flexion through our spine. We're getting both internal and external rotation through our hips. And just getting a little bit of movement, yeah, using our breath. A breath in, and exhale out. Yes, and now I'm going to do the other side. And you know what, friends? I find this move right here is diagnostic for me. How does this feel? Is this knee up? Does it hurt? Or is it uncomfortable bringing our knees bent this way? You know what? That tells us a little bit about the tightness in our hips, about how the movement of our hips in that socket, how flexible, how mobile is it. Use this to get to know. And I'm going to encourage you, friends, as we do our practice, you're going to notice some moves are easier than others. And rather than only doing the things that are easy, I'm going to encourage you, notice the things that are challenging. Those are the moves you need to practice more. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Friends, right now, I'm noticing that this is harder for me than it was on the other side. I need to practice this side more than the other. We go to the things that are easier. We go to the things that are a little bit less challenging or the path of least resistance. But I'm going to encourage you, use your practice to learn. Where do you need to focus your practice? And for me, this needs a little bit of love. This needs a little bit of love. And so maybe I do that a little bit more. Yes, get to know, learn to love, practice what is challenging. If we stay within our comfort zone stays small and it will begin to grow even smaller. We put effort into the things that we wish to maintain, and I wish to maintain mobility on this side just as much as this side. Yeah, I want both to be easy. Rather than to avoid, approach both. Anyways, with that, I'm now going to sit nice and tall. This is called butterfly bound angle. It's a great hip stretch. And I'm seated nice and tall. And I'm coming forward, staying nice and tall. Now friends, this is what I will see in my in-person classes sometimes. Instead of long through the spine, long through the heart. We're not trying to bring ourselves forward using our upper back muscles and our chin and our shoulders. And I'm actually collapsing through here, and this is actually hurting my back, and I'm feeling nothing in my hips. I want to feel the stretch in my hips, and I want to protect my back, so I stay nice and long and come forward only as far as I can while staying nice and long. And we breathe. And I sit back up. Notice my head stays in line with spine, so I'm not bringing my head forward, I'm not jutting my chin forward. Oh, already low back pain. And now as I do that more, I'm feeling more low back pain, I'm feeling hunchback, and it's feeling uncomfortable and feeling no stretch through my hips. How we move matters. I'm going to sit back up. I'm going to exhale forward again. All the while, my head is in line with spine, so it's not drooping. My chin isn't to chest. My head in line with spine. Always, always. So I'm now going to turn back to you. From here, I'm going to come back to that idea of internal and external rotation. So I'm here lifted. I'm not shrinking in between my shoulders. My shoulder blades, I'm sliding them as though together to open my heart. My shoulders are pointed to you. And I bring my knees side to side, slowly. Noticing, is there any catching? And right now, I'm noticing that this knee is having a harder time coming in. This was the same side that when I was trying to do my mermaid, was finding difficulty. So I'm finding I need to devote a little bit of time and attention on internal rotation, especially on this side. I'm using my poses to get to know my body. And sometimes I have to move it to go, oh, there's tightness there. This is as low as it wants to go. It's not going as easily. It's catching before it goes all the way. And maybe we're not able to go all the way. Here, there's no problem. I've got internal rotation okay, external rotation okay. As I slowly move the other way, I'm finding resistance, and this is where my body wants to stop. I'm not going to force it all the way down. Instead, I'm just going to go to a little bit, where it's a little bit more, and I'm just reaching into the uncomfortable, just on the edge, and I'm breathing. I'm going to notice that, and I'm going to go back and forth again, and see how does that feel as I come back around. There's a little bit more range of motion. Motion is lotion for body and soul. This is becoming easier. It's not easy yet. That comes with time. How much time? I'm not going to put it on a timetable. I'm not going to say, if it's not there tomorrow, I'm done. No, I just stay at it. It'll come when it comes. But with consistency, with practice, this does become easier. Now, friends, I'm going to borrow from this music. It feels really super dramatic, right? I'm going to take this from here, both shins to mat, my hand by my hip. I'm going to push my hips forward into a spiral lift. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Pushing my hip forward, getting, again, that stretch through side body, now through the front of my hip. I'm going to do one more each side. Does one side feel easier than the other? And again, maybe you're being super dramatic. You could be like, oh yes. If you've got long hair, maybe you pass it back. In a show of drama. I like drama. I like good drama. Not the kind of drama that like puts a pit in your belly, but drama where you're like, hi, I'm fabulous. Shall we be fabulous? Let's be fabulous. Doesn't this feel like a fabulous pose? I feel like this is a fabulous pose. And we're going to release it. Now from there, friends, I'm going to get to know my hips a little bit better as well. If you did my class before, I did a little bit where it was really thinking about focusing on hips. I'm going to continue on with that, but this time in yoga. Now it's time to channel a different frog. We have not practiced this pose in a while. I think it's time to bring it back. I'm going to double my mat so I can give my knees a little more cushioning. I'm bringing my knees as far apart as they are able to go right now. Now my feet, they're flexed. Do you see them? I'm now going to take those flexed feet right behind my knees. And rather than shrinking in and collapsing through my shoulders, I'm going to push myself away from the floor. And I'm going to breathe. This is releasing my inner thighs in a big way. This is a fairly intense pose. And I'm going to breathe and slowly move my hips forward and back. Slowly with my breath. Ooh, there's where I'm holding tightness. I'm going to come forward. Okay, this is feeling a little bit easier for me. What was I just saying? Go to where the discomfort is. Yoga is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about just stretching into it a little bit. I'm going into the discomfort. I'm at the edge of it and I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to breathe. And as I sit in this discomfort, this is what we do as yogis. We go to the discomfort intentionally with deliberation and just to the edge and breathe into that space. And as I do, I can already feel my hips, my thighs are starting to relax. And in doing so, my knees are sliding a little further apart. You're not seeing it, I can feel it though. And my hips, my inner thighs are relaxing. Breathe. Now to come out of this, I'm bringing my feet together, putting my hands down, and I'm pushing back. The goal is not necessarily to pancake your chest to the floor. The goal is not necessarily to be splayed out on the floor, but the goal is to, again, find the edge of discomfort. So I'm going to show you the side view of what that would look like. Knees are wide, feet are flexed. Feet are right behind my knees. And sometimes when I'm in my in-person classes, I'll see this. I'm kind of slumped through my chest, I'm shrunken in between my shoulders, and you really want to be supported in your core. I'm not collapsing through my shoulders. In fact, I'm actively pushing the floor away. And I'm letting my hips, my inner thighs relax. And I'm not letting my head droop. Head in line with spine, almost always. There's only one time where I tell my classes our heads are not in line with spine, and that's if you're practicing crow. And then you're going to be looking up ahead of you as you're practicing your arm balance. But head in line with spine, yeah. Okay, friends, how are we doing with getting to know our hips? Are we getting to know them a little bit better? Yeah. I'm focusing on the feeling of the pose, and I'm hoping you're focusing on that feeling too, friends. I'm going to go now to a pose that we practice pretty regularly in my in-person class. And I realize I don't bring this into my yoga practice here because I do a core class just beforehand. But let's revisit a pose that I should be practicing. I feel like I want to be practicing in this class a little more too. We're going to be practicing a bridge. Now friends, for this bridge, now if we want to have our feet really close to our butt, hopefully at some point you'll be able to bring your feet right so your fingertips can touch your heels. If they're out here and that's as far as you can, for today that's okay. But in time, we want to inch our heels in closer. Maybe it's a mobility issue. Maybe it's a flexibility issue. But in time, this is what we want to work towards. Fingertips touching our heels, our feet not in duck feet with your heels and toes out, but our toes directly in front of our heels and our feet hip width apart. A lot of times I'll see feet really wide. I'm like, oh, your hips are not that wide. They're usually closer than you think. From here, I'm going to lift my toes for now because you really want to drive through your heels to lift your hips and bring yourself into a bridge. Now, just making this shape does not mean we have mastered the pose. There's more we can do with this. Think about how you're engaging through the front of your thighs. I want you to imagine you're trying to lengthen out from your hip out through your knee and make your knees push them away from you. As you do, you're going to feel your body engage a little differently. As you dig your heels into your mat, I want you to imagine you're trying to drag your heels back to your butt. Even though your feet aren't moving one iota, imagine that you're dragging your feet back to your butt and you're going to feel the back of your thighs fire up. That's your hamstrings. Oh yes, this is a hamstring, glute, your butt, and low back move. And breathe. And lower down. Friends, that is the meat of the pose, is our hips. We want them up, driving your hip bones up to the sky, driving your knees out and away from you, pulling your feet in towards you. And as you make each of those adjustments, we're going to feel and experience our muscles differently, yeah? This is a fabulous move for your backside, but it's not just about getting your hips up there. It's what are we doing with all of our muscles? And there's so much to think about. This is why we call it a practice. So mastery of a bridge is not merely this. Can you wake up your hamstrings? Do you know how to wake up your hamstrings? Do you know how to wake up your glutes? Yes. Are we feeling the front of our thighs? Breathe. And as I think about each of those points, my awareness of my muscles grows stronger. My connection of mind to body and how to fire up those muscles, that gets stronger. And that's also tying, oh, let's get stronger right through here. Let's get stronger right through here. Let's get stronger through our butt, yeah? That is the meat of the pose, is up here and engaging all those muscles that I was talking about. Now, once we start adding in these moves with like knee lifts or leg extensions, those are add-ons. But if to lift our knee, we have to bring our hips down, it's no longer a bridge. We're no longer getting the point of the pose. Where are these hips? They're up. My muscles all those muscles I was talking about, are they engaged the way I want them to be? Am I trembling through the front of my thighs? Am I trembling in the back of my thighs? My glutes, as I touch them, are they fired up? Yes. And we come on down. The mastery of yoga is not just about making a shape. The mastery of yoga is connecting that mind and body. And are we engaging the muscles we want to be engaging the way they should be? Or I hate to use the word should. Should is such a terrible word. I really want that word to be stricken from the language, because the word should usually leads to all sorts of negative emotions. We want. Let's go with want. But yeah, the point of our bridge is to develop a strong backside. Yeah? Now, what is a good counter pose for doing bridges? A good counter pose for bridges are folds. So let's talk about our folds. I'm gonna be long on my mat. Right now, my ears are stacked over my shoulders are stacked over my hips. I'm not leaning back, and my hips aren't tipping a bucket of water behind me. This is called a posterior tilt of my hips. I want to be able to be in neutral and then even an anterior tilt. I want to pick up my sit bones. I'm drawing it back. I'm picking up my sit bones, drawing it back. And now I'm already kind of leaning forward a little bit. I'm in anterior tilt. I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to straighten and lengthen. And as I come forward, notice I'm going to come forward from my hips. I'm not leading with my upper back and shoulders, which frankly, again, I'm feeling a lot of unreally things I don't want to be feeling here in my low back. I'm sitting long and tall and I'm coming forward from my hips, squishing my hands between my hips, squishing my hands between my hips, or between my thighs, my ribs, my belly. Now, if I can keep that squish of my hands, I can't pull my hands out because they're trapped. I start to straighten out my legs. And that is my fold. It's not this. With this, all I'm feeling is uncomfort here and no stretch through the back of my legs. Let's do the pose so we can feel what we want to feel, which is lengthen the spine, no pain in the spine, and a stretch through my hamstrings. So I'm long and tall. I'm squishing my hands between my belly, ribs, and thigh. If I can keep that connection between belly, rib, and thigh and hands trapped, I straighten out my legs more. So maybe this is what your fold looks like. This is safer for your spine. It's also stretching your hamstrings, even though my legs aren't straight. This is not stretching out your hamstrings. Here we go. And if I can keep belly and rib touching thigh, that's when I straighten out my legs and just a gentle tuck of my chin. Yeah? Shoulders relaxed in a way. I'm feeling a stretch here. I often see people fighting for that straight leg and doing this in the class. I'm not stretching anything here, and I'm making it more likely that I'm going to have some back issues. It's from our hips. And at the very most, it's just a gentle tuck of chin. And we breathe. Now from here, I'm going to come back to that spiral lift that we did. I'm giving you first option. 90-90 of legs, just as we did before, hand by your hip. Shins stay down, and we come up into another spiral lift. I'm doing pose, counter pose. I'm going to do the other side. Pose, counter pose. We did a fold. Now I'm doing something that has a little bit of hip opening with some extension. Now friends, here's the next option. If what we want to do is a variation and put a little bit more emphasis on back strength, just like we did with our bridge, long leg, hand planted right by the hip of that long leg. You have a bent leg and a free hand. From here, I'm lifting up and reaching back, and this is a wild thing. If we do not feel comfortable with this, we do the spiral lift. I'm going to do the other side. Long leg, hand planted right at the hip of my long leg. I have a bent knee, same hand is up in the air. I'm going to lift my hips up and reach back. Friends, that is another back strengthening pose. I'm focusing a little bit on back strengthening poses because I tend to find that in my classes, our backs aren't as strong as our abdominals. And we really want our backs just as strong as our abdominals. We're still getting the same benefits from here with a spiral lift. But in terms of we get a hip opening, we also get back work and we get length. But we master this first before going to a wild thing, yeah? From here to, let's take that up. Long leg, hand by hip, bent leg, free hand. Still able to target some of the same muscles, but it is a little bit more difficult. Master one, and once that gets super, super easy, you can start adding on layering. Yeah? Okay, friends, from here, let's come back to our fold and do our fold again. Remember, it's not from here, because from here, if I try to come forward, this is all that's going to happen, and I'm going to feel a lot of uncomfortableness. Yes, I'm going to make that a word, coming from here, and this is never going to achieve either spinal length or protection or a stretch in hamstrings. I'm feeling nothing in my hamstrings right now. So draw the hips back. You're tilted forward. We might need to be sitting on a blanket or a block. Hips, belly, thighs are connected. Ribs. Notice how my back is long. It's protected. I'm not feeling any discomfort in my back, nor am I if I come here. A fold, the intent of the fold is to not have a straight leg. It's to stretch our hamstrings and also lengthen, decompress spine. And we want to do both safely. Is that what we're feeling? Don't shy away from the discomfort. Here, straight legs, but nothing's happening here, and all I'm doing is damaging my spine. Let's stay safe. And maybe that means we're here. Do what's safe. Do what's safe, do what's effective. And breathe. And breathe. This is not where I started my practice. When I started practicing yoga in 2009, this is not what my fold looked like. I looked like this. The only way I got to here was by doing it incrementally. I'm feeling a little discomfort and I stayed here and then it became easy. Then my heels went out a little more. Then my heels went out a little more until this felt easy. Then my heels went out a little more. This comes with time. And with that seems to be a good signal that unfortunately our time today is up. Friends, what do you think? Did you get to know your body a little bit better? Did we move deliberately into the discomfort and say, yes, I'm willing to go there because I want to make that space mine? Did we build strength between our mind and muscle? I think so. I think so. I hope you think so too. And if you think so, come back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be back here using our yoga practice to better get to know ourselves. Yeah? Let's do it together. Let's do it together next week. Until then, I will see you soon. On behalf of the entire Virtual Y team, from us to you, be well, and I'll see you again.
I'm Sarah, and this is Cardio Dance. Are you guys ready to work out? Let's do it. Last 10 seconds. I'm right here with you. Let's do it. Welcome to the Y. My name is Erin. I'm Jennifer. My name is Linda.
My name is Tommy, and today we're going to do a quick step routine.
We feeling like we can conquer the world today?
I wish you all could smell it. It smells so good.
Time. We get stronger in my world. We're going to do it again.
We'll see you again. Keep working hard. You did awesome.